We have an early prediction for UFC Fight Night next week, Marvin Vettori versus Jared Cannonier. I'm very excited for this fight, although it's two fighters that I don't typically get overly excited to watch fight, but I find this a very important and particular matchup in the middleweight division that has me going, hey, you know what? That's a pretty good main event. We're going to break that fight down. I'm going to give my prediction for you afterwards. Before we get into the video, though, I do want to say hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's break down this fight. Starting off with the tail of the tape, it's two guys that have had a little bit of a rough go lately. Marvin Vettori coming off of a win against Roman Dolidze, and to be honest, I thought it was a robbery, but I understand, like, not everybody necessarily thought that. Regardless, it was a very close fight, and Marvin Vettori still looked okay in that fight. Still, if he were to go back up and, like, fight them, Robert Whittaker, Eliezer Adesanya, they would still stomp him if that specific Vettori shows up before that. Of course, we all know he got absolutely demolished by Whittaker. And his record's been very spotty because he looked good against Kevin Holland. He looked good against Paulo Costa, but then he looks horrible against Whittaker and Adesanya. But then again, Adesanya and Whittaker are two very different fighters in the division. So Marvin Vettori is one of those guys who is really good, but not the top of the best caliber of fighter. You know what I mean? And I find Jared Cannonier is kind of in that same boat. At one point, we could have considered him a title contender, but now the dude's 39 years old. He is visibly slowing down. He's coming off of a win against Sean Strickland. I believe that Sean Strickland was robbed in that decision. So you could argue for both these guys, in my opinion, at least. Okay, I understand everybody has different opinions on that fight because it was a little bit dicey, those decisions. I believe both these guys are coming off of two losses. I thought Sean Strickland won that fight, and before that, of course, he looked horrible against Israel Adesanya. But before that, he looked good against Derek Brunson and Kelvin Gastelum. Then, again, got demolished by Whittaker. So you see a little bit of a pattern when you bring up these two fighters in the middleweight division. And that's why I find this fight very interesting. Other than that, the age is something to really, really point out because Marvin Vettori is just entering his prime. So there is still room for improvement with Marvin Vettori. But the problem when you're looking at Marvin Vettori is he seems like a very stubborn guy. You never really see any improvement from him. And I think that's where it really stops. Marvin Vettori is always the same guy. He keeps showing up. Whereas Jared Cannonier, you'll see some improvements here and there. They're very, very similar in their careers. But again, other than that, the reach is something that we should point out. Jared Cannonier does have a nice reach advantage, and that could be a problem for Marvin Vettori when clashing. Jared Cannonier could strike him with a jab as Marvin Vettori is trying to come forward. So like I said, guys, these two fighters are very, very similar in their careers and their career path. They lose to the same kind of guys, and they win against the same kind of guys. However, when these two match up, it is obvious that the power goes to Jared Cannonier, but I don't like, in his past couple fights, the pace that he's been putting on is very slow, and I believe that Jared Cannonier's age is finally showing. You gotta also question how motivated both these fighters are, because actually, I don't know if I question Marvin Vettori's, because he seems like stubborn enough. Like I was just talking about, the dude's stubborn. I don't know if he'll necessarily think, oh wait, they're never going to give me a title fight again. He might just go, oh, I'm just going to keep winning, and then I'll fight Adesanya again because I already beat him twice. I can see that, but Jared Cannonier, you got to question his motivation. He's definitely not getting a title fight again. He's going to have to stomp like so many opponents, and that's just not going to happen at 39 years old. When these two match up, I see, honestly, the only advantage that Jared Cannonier has, he'll have a reach advantage, and he'll probably use it very well. But this is a 5-round fight, and we just saw Jared Cannonier slow down pretty significantly against Adesanya. I don't like it, and Strickland as well. Like I said, his age is showing. Vettori does put on a pace that's very difficult for fighters to keep up with. And I do believe this fight's going to look a lot similar to like when Marvin Vettori fought Paulo Costa. Yeah, Costa landed some giant shots, but Vettori just has that chin where it's just like you hit him with something and it's like he wasn't even fazed by it. He just eats it and comes forward. I feel like this is a really good matchup for Marvin Vettori. He could even take down Jared Cannonier. I feel like that will be an issue, and Jared Cannonier will be strong enough if Vettori were to go for takedowns at the maybe round 1 or 2. But as the fight goes on and Vettori keeps putting his pressure on, I feel like Jared Cannonier will crumble. He will probably lose by decision. That might be a bet that I make on this fight, but I'm picking Vettori to win. I do not see Jared Cannonier having any threat because the threat that he has is his power, and Vettori never gets chinned. You can hit him with the most straight powerful shot in the world, and Vettori won't go down. The dude's stubborn. The dude thinks that he's still going to get a title fight, so the dude is still hungry. He's just entering his prime. He's fighting a guy who's almost 40 years old at the end of his career, hasn't looked the same as he once was. And how long has it been since his last win against Derek Brunson? That was just over a year ago. So it was just his last 2 fights that his age has been showing. You could argue that Israel Adesanya is just doing what Izzy does, but then again, I did not like his performance against Sean Strickland at all. I just didn't like it. I got to pick Marvin Vettori here. I think the pressure will get to him. I think his fighting style works out, and I see this fight going pretty much the same way as Marvin Vettori versus Paulo Costa did, except it will be a little bit more dominant on the side of Marvin Vettori. I don't see this being an overly exciting fight. I see Marvin Vettori just putting pressure. I see him clinching. I see him landing the shots, and Jared Cannonier just swinging and hitting. Nothing happening. Then Marvin Vettori just putting more pressure on. So my official prediction for this fight is going to be Marvin Vettori by decision. This is where I'll leave it up to you guys. I would love to know what you think down below, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new here and you enjoy the content, please consider a like button would help out the channel a ton, and subscribe if you are brand new. If you want to continue watching the Clenbat channel, check out one of these videos. They're pretty great, guys. I will see you there or in the next video. Take care.